Okay, today we are making sweet bread dough that we are going to make into cinnamon rolls and caramel rolls a little later in the day after it rises. Okay? There's 12 steps to making yeast dough. What's the first step? Scaling out the ingredients. So the first thing you need to do is measure or weigh all of your ingredients. You might want to list the 12 steps somewhere because they'll be on the quiz. The second step is mixing. So let's start the mixing process. We have in the bowl the flour, the sugar, the salt, the non-fat dry milk, and we're going to add the yeast. Okay? And I'm going to mix this, and then I'm going to get that all incorporated, and then it didn't take very long. Stop, and we're going to put the bowl down so we can get the shortening in. Okay, we are ready to add our warm water. Remember to use your thermometer. Make sure your thermometer is working correctly, right? So you want to get it to be 120 degrees and then pour off what's too much. So you just have 2 cups. Okay, then we'll put the dough hook on. And then we're going to start adding flour. And see how that dough hook kind of sticks out? So try and add the flour when it's not this way. Okay? Otherwise you're going to end up with flour all over. Depending on the humidity, it's going to take more or less flour. It's going to take at least 2.5 cups. I've got the bowl. It's going to go in the proofer. And the bowl has a little bit of oil in the bottom. Okay? You put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the bowl. All right? And then after we take the dough out, we're going to make it into a ball. We're going to put it in here and we're going to turn it over. We want to show the bowl. See, there's no flour clinging to the sides of the bowl. And then you have to take it and kind of make it into a ball. You're not going to put it down on the counter. You're just going to make it into a ball. And you want to put the ickies all on the top of the ball. And put the ball, boom, in the bowl. Okay? And there's oil in there. Okay? And then you're going to flip it over, so now the oil's on the top, right? Okay, now, then you're going to take the bowl, and you're going to cover it with plastic wrap. That's so the top doesn't get dry. What? So the top doesn't get dry. Yeah, so the top doesn't get dried out while it's in the proofer. Okay, alrighty. And we'll be back in a half an hour to finish our bread. So, we're ready for the second step. We've been through which stages? We scaled our ingredients, we mixed our ingredients, we proofed our ingredients, right? Okay, so what's the next thing we had to do? We had to punch the dough down. Number 4 is scale. First we got to scale, we got to weigh it. Then we have to weigh it, that's number 5. Number 6 is round. Number 7 is, what's it called? Bench, okay? So, it's been on the bench for 10 minutes now, and we're ready to make it into cinnamon rolls. We have 2 variations. We're going to have plain cinnamon rolls over here, and we're going to have caramel rolls over here. Now, to make your caramel batter for the bottom of the pan, you have to grease the pan with margarine, okay? Not with shortening. Make sure you grease the pan with margarine. Then you're going to make this into a rectangle. And your recipe says that the rectangle should be 9 by 13. You see that I'm trying to get rectangly shaped before I use the rolling pin. So you melt the margarine. You add the brown sugar. You add the tablespoon of corn syrup, and then you spread it in the bottom of the pan. So you put your margarine in there, and then you're going to sprinkle, and this is enough for 2, so you should have half of it left for the other person. Messy's fine. You're going to start at one end. You just have to clean it up, right? You're going to roll. You got to kind of roll it all at the same time. Now, in order for that dough to stick to this dough, you need some glue, and the glue is going to be water. Okay, so you're going to put water down here. And then you're going to press this together, okay? And then you want to roll it so that the glue is on the bottom. And then you're going to pull in your ends so that it looks the same fatness. You want all your rolls to be the same, right? So you got to pull it in so you got the same fatness, okay? Okay, next, you're going to take your bench scraper and you're going to cut this in half. It's an eyeball thing, but if you want to use a ruler and measure, that's fine too. You're going to cut each half in half, okay? And then you're going to cut each of these into 3 parts. That's the hard part, okay? And then you're going to organize these in here. You want the end part to be down when you put it in the pan. And you're going to get these in here so that you have 3 by 4, because you have a dozen. You're going to end up with a dozen. And the ugly side goes down. Okay, we're going to put this, Stephanie, you take one. Ashley, take it on there. Go put it in the proof. We have to put that on a tray that's in there. We're going to need to proof for about 15 minutes. The last 2 trays of rolls that went in the proofer, whoever put them in, go get them. We got to put them in the oven. Let's go see if the other ones are done. Okay, when you're making these rolls, it works best if you can have a proofing cabinet because you can maintain the temperature and the moisture. If you're going to use your oven to proof things, the best thing is to turn the oven on low and then turn it off and put a pan of boiling water in the bottom of the oven so you've got the moisture in the oven, okay? If you let them proof at room temperature, it will take longer. Here we go. After 20 minutes, we've got our caramel rolls the size of the pan, which is just perfect, and our cinnamon rolls have doubled in size. So I'm going to go put them in the oven. I'm going to use a convection oven to bake these in. If you're using your regular oven at home, it's going to need to be 50 degrees warmer. So it will be 375 in a normal oven, 325 in a convection oven. The convection oven has a fan working for it, and so that's why the temperature has to be lower. And we're going to set this for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to look and see how they're doing. The oven for 15 minutes, and voila, they're done. Now we don't want them to cook anymore in the bottom, so what do we have to do?
Take them off.
Take them off and put them on a cooling rack because the tray is hot, and we don't want any more carryover cooking. Longer to bake, so they're probably going to need to be in here for about 18 minutes. And you can see that it's all bubbly. It's all bubbly underneath. So right out of the oven, you need to put a flat pan on top that has a paper, but we forgot the paper. It'll be all right. Just like that. Make a lot of noise. Squiggle, 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 and how's that look? Delicious?
Yeah.
Delicious, delicious. We're going to scrape out all this delicious stuff, and we're going to kind of drizzle it over the top, okay? Because that's the best part.